Hello and welcome to this video series. We're checking out some missions, the Dungeoncrawler Gamejam of 2023. This time we will have a look at Filth by TheLastAmlas and Cloudy What. Before we jump into the game, we will quickly go through the description here. Fight the local monsters, search for the chests, and find a way out of these ill-fated dungeons. Game made by TheLastAmlas and Cloudy What. Music by Asthmatic Dreams. I'm not sure if the music was made for the jam though. So yeah. Instructions: step forward, step back, turn 90 degrees left, 90 degrees right. 90 degrees down is a bit weird. I guess you can check the floor with that. I'm not sure if you can then actually move down. We will see, because there's no up. E is interaction. Alright, F is attack. Light torches to slow down the spread of filth. Hold the open carefully button to carefully open the chest and not take damage. If you have a lockpick, you can quickly open the chest without taking damage. Collect 13 sticks to restore the ladder. Kill enemies to get sticks. Treat monster bodies to slow down the spread of filth. Collect 5 healing potions and 10 sticks to restore Pandora's box. That sounds very interesting. The screenshots are not really saying much. I just see corridors and light sources. But yeah, let's jump into the game. The treasure hunter found the box. He opened it with his shiny blade. An ancient evil escaped from it, eating up everything that would be against it, and only the torchlight could restrain him. But only for now. Alright, let's continue. Alright, play. I might need to readjust the music. I always start the game beforehand and see about the volume. Yeah, this seems now like we don't hear anything. This is the turning down option. We don't have any timer. So there is maybe this filth moving around. I'm not sure. But I mean, we might need to start over anyways after we got what the game is about. So, yeah, it's very dark. And of course, here in my room, it's rather bright, so it's a bit hard to see anything. So let's talk about the perspective first, even though it's a bit hard maybe. Maybe we get a lighter corridor somewhere. Ah, okay. Let's kill that dude. Okay, so they are rather strong and we will die. Okay. Let me check the controls again. Oh. Interaction was E and F is attack. So yeah, I didn't see like any good location where I could talk about like perspective and so on, because it's too dark to like, you can hardly see the like where the different floor elements are located here. Well, I think that has to do. So, yeah, I think the perspective is pretty good. So you can see the left and right wall. You can probably not see the floor on the tile you're standing on, which should not be a problem in this environment if we don't need to loot anything, which is below us, and there's an enemy roaming around. Alright, I think I looted the stick. The controls, the movement speed. We can move through the enemies. Yeah, I see the issue with combat and movements already. So the commands are not queued up. The movement is very fast, and the turning. So if you do them individually, they feel fine. But the issue is that they are not queued up. So moving forward and going right or turning right does nothing. Forward, right, right, forward, right, forward, right, forward, right, forward, right. So we are not turning. And the same goes for forward attack. Forward attack, forward attack, forward attack, forward attack. So when I bumped into this enemy before, I was going towards the enemy and attacking, and nothing happens because I was still in the movement. Which is fine in a way that you might not want to have the attack while you're moving to not exploit the system. But it should at least be queued up, because otherwise it just feels like the control is being cut off. Ah, okay, nice. We have the keys there. So in this game, I guess we might also need to draw a map. We don't have a compass, but I think this might be very hard to find decent orientation, and it seems to be very like time based, so it's probably best to find a quick death now and to go back to the start. Yeah, the combat feedback also wasn't the greatest. The when you attack, you already get the sound of hitting something. And this sound is not different if there's any opponent in front of you. Yeah. I don't think you're starting at the same position every time, right? So this is a randomly generated dungeon? Well, let's not draw a map then. Yeah, but this isn't small. And I've got the feeling that randomly stumbling around might be an issue. Open carefully. Lower potion, 3 lockpicks. Looks like there's like 2 bars. Fast. 4 lockpicks. Also, it's kind of hard sometimes to identify, like in this, that there's actually a path open and there's another one. So even though you can see whether or not there is a wall next to you, in theory it might not even be the case because of how the game handles the corners in the walls. So it uses thin walls, so they are not one tile in size. And yeah, that kind of makes it hard to see. I mean, I think I stumbled into the same position a couple of times now. I don't quite get this. Yeah, maybe I should just draw a map now of this position here, which already feels very weird. So we have a chest in front of us. Alright. Then oh, okay, we can waste another. Oh, okay, now I broke the game. We can open a chest a second time, but then it's broken, and I need to restart the game. Okay, that's not great. I might accidentally hit the button, because that's like the button you usually use for like sidestepping then. Alright, no map of that. But let's see whether we start out in this long corridor and if the map is then static or if that's randomly generated. Yeah, it's randomly generated. Okay. I guess that's the Filth. But I mean, apparently it's real time. Enemies are moving around. But I find navigation very hard in this game. We need to open carefully. We don't have the lockpicks yet. Why did I lose hit points even though I opened it carefully? So how do I use the... I just click on that. Okay, cool. How do I... Well, what is the power potion for? No idea. Open. Now we got lockpicks. Which I think I used for opening it quickly. Yeah, the issue with the navigation is that it's using these pillars on the corners and you have thin walls. So right now, in theory, you could see whether or not there is a wall next to you, but because it's using these pillars, I can't really tell whether or not it's an empty space. Yeah, so you might just move past areas. And there's no way to see how strong the enemies are. So you saw that before, the enemy was down with just like, I don't know, 3 hits or so. And this one was much stronger. But there was no way to tell whether or not it was much stronger. I think the lighting is cool. Like the atmosphere, the music. Carefully. Now we got lockpicks. Now we can open fast. Power potion. We should probably use that. Fast. Lockpick. Yeah, but if you have to turn around every tile to see what is around you, that's a problem. We got one of these sticks. There's another enemy. Which apparently is stronger. But this probably now means that we are dead, because we can't even open a chest, because with even opening a chest seems to cost hit points. I think I was just running around back and forth. I will try to draw a map, even though the filth is spreading and we basically will run out of time, but I don't think that without drawing a map I will get anywhere, because the map, yeah, the overview is problematic. So I'm looking into this direction and that direction, and it looks like there is a wall on both sides, but I might not even be able to tell that correctly. There seems to be a wall, and again there's a wall and there's a wall. There's an opening and there's an opening. Now, usually I would just draw a block, right? Like, okay, there's a wall to the right and there's a wall to the left. But right now, in front of me, I can't tell. We could go further and then turn to the right, and maybe there's even a corridor to the left. This one seems like to the left it's open, so I go forward. Okay, so forward there is a wall, but left there seems to be an opening. This might also be an opening, I'm not sure. There is an opening. So this is a wall. Yeah, this is super confusing. There was also something... This is pause, right? Yeah. There was also something regarding light torches or something. Light torches to slow down the spread of filth. Hold the open carefully button to carefully open the chest and not take damage. If you have a lockpick, you can quickly open the chest. Collect 13 sticks to restore the ladder. That was maybe the 2 bars I found before. Kill enemies to get sticks. Treat monster bodies to slow down the spread of filth. Let's see if we can do that next time we find some monsters like that. Alright, there's another one. How can I... process the remains. We don't have health points. Okay. So right now there's a puddle. Left, right. Left, right. This one we can... we need tinder boxes. Let's not go there further. For now. Down. So again, we can go down. And then we can go back into this corner here. And then continue moving south. And further south. And there is a wall to the other side. If we call that south. Right. Alright. Yeah, even that is another... It's very hard to get any grasp of the surroundings here. Okay. Oh god. Yeah. No, I will give up drawing a map. That's... I don't think that is very... In theory it is useful and necessary, but if we also have time pressure, the map drawing is... That's probably the latter. We need to use 13 sticks. Okay, I'm not sure if I even have lockpicks at the moment. Let's open it fast. Alright. I do want to treat one of these enemies with the health potion, so... Okay. I like the idea of this spreading filth. But I think the major problem here is the orientation in the dungeon, the way the dungeon is set up. Very dark, and you, even though the perspective would allow that, maybe, like you can see right now that there's a wall to the right, but you cannot see that there's an opening to the left. Yeah. This is making navigation very problematic. And even if the dungeon allowed, or the engine allowed that, I think it might have been the better choice in this case. To not use thin walls to make navigation easier. I think we will die now because we can't open any chests. We can also just run through the enemies, and I wanted to turn, but yeah. The movement is also a bit problematic. Open carefully, and yeah. And that's also something where you're basically getting into a situation where you're already dead and don't know yet, because you can't... Opening a chest using up hit points is a bit weird. But let's try and find, try at least like lit up one torch and cure one body of the enemies. Also, you can't sidestep, right? Which is also an... With this, you could potentially make navigation and orientation a little bit easier if you could just scan the wall, like, can you move through that tile? Can you move through that tile? And then sidestep, sidestep, sidestep. But this is also not possible. Carefully. Okay, so now we have something to lit up the torches. Yeah, you can run by this end. There are not too many torches which are not lit up. I don't know if they... Ah, okay, there was an enemy. I didn't see that. I think it was standing inside me. Yeah, navigation is very much a problem. There's Filth! Okay. I think there are 3 of them, so we are dead. I mean, of course I should have run away, but... There are the ladders. Ah, okay. Carefully. Okay, we have some healing potion and some tinder stuff. Why can't I use another power potion? Let me have a look into the... Yeah, it doesn't say what the power potions actually do. My guess would have been that they make me stronger because some of the enemies have apparently much more hit points than others, or I just didn't hit, but you don't get a proper like hit feedback. Fast. And oh, or maybe it's just broken, so that instead of if you find 2, it only adds 1 to the stack, even though it displays 2. Yeah, I don't get out of here. There. No. I think I just ran into the same position again. Oh. Fast. Then tinder boxes. There are the stairs. We also still don't really know what this Filth is actually doing. So now we are in a very filthy area. Ah, there's some enemies. Let's look down. Use. Okay. So we did that at least. And now, okay. So we did that as well. And now, I wouldn't say we have seen it all, but I think we have a good idea. So yes, I think there are some major problems with like navigation in that game, even though for a normal crawler the navigation would be fine, like the perspective and so on. It is problematic here. So the perspective was kind of fine because you could see from the angles what is left and right and have a sense of where you are. It was not the case in this game because of the dungeon design, because of having these thin walls and because of having these pillars everywhere. And so you saw a pillar to the right and you didn't know whether before that you could still turn or not, and if there was another way in. So the perspective in itself would have been right, but it would, in this case, it just didn't work because of the thin walls and these pillars. For the movement, especially in this like real-time combat environment, when you can't move forward and hit at the same, like queue that up basically, it always feels like, okay, the command is cut off. So I mean, it should also be used for moving. So if you can move forward and turn right, that the turning right one command should always be queued up so that it doesn't feel cut off. Otherwise, you're just pressing and basically waiting every time until the action is executed. Regarding the like concept of this entry, I think that was actually quite nice with the filth and the different ways to stop it. I don't know what this filth would lead to, like if it spread too far. Maybe it's like a timer, and if the whole area is like overcome with filth, then you would be dead, or you couldn't escape anymore. And with the ways to stop it, like killing these enemies, purging the like corpses, and lighting up the torches, I think that was a nice idea. With the chests and losing hit points by opening the chest, I didn't get the idea behind that. I think opening is taking time. But I'm not too sure about that. So that's also a bit weird. The atmosphere was nice, like the music, and I mean, it had a couple of sounds, but for combat, for example, every time you attack, you get this if you were hitting something, but you're not hitting anything. There are no step sound effects though, so maybe that would have been a thing. I mean, it's very fast, so I also wasn't exactly missing them, but maybe, yeah, it would have been nicer. Music is nice. Yeah, how visually the game is put together, yeah, of course it's a bit of a mix mash. You have the very realistic surroundings. Well, not very realistic, but you get what I mean. Then a bit of a low poly sort, pixelated interface a bit, and then hand-drawn monsters. So that was also a bit like puts together various multiple styles. Yeah. The theme implementation of duality, I guess the idea is that it's either clean or filthy. I'm not too sure, but I would say that it's probably not like a strong point or strong focus here. Yeah, and I think that's all I can say here. I think unfortunately the major elements, like like collecting these sticks and the navigation in the dungeon is problematic. And yes, because the dungeon is randomly generated, I think I would just basically tell the engine, so if I had to make one little change for the game, I would make the random dungeon generator generate dungeons which do not use thin walls. Thin walls are generally not problematic, but they are problematic in an instant like this, where you can't tell if there's anything left of you. This on the right side is now perfect, because you can see that there's a wall and there's a corridor. Well, this pillar there isn't optimal, you see next to the sword. But on the left side, you can't see anything. And again, you can't see anything. Well, there is probably an entry, but... So yeah, that's one thing. Remove the pillars, remove the thin walls, and I think that single change would make the game much more enjoyable. So that was Filth by TheLastAmlas, and I need to check the other names again. And Cloudy What, music by Asthmatic Dreams. So maybe the developers are planning to do an updated version here. So if you're interested in checking out the game, you can find a link to that down in the video description. And if you're interested in seeing more videos, you can also find a playlist there with all the entries I did so far. And you can also subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss any new videos I post. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.